action. They wish to record the evening and it must be done from this computer. And of course, the medium is not present at the moment, and so that she cannot take such actions. But it is my pleasure to be with you in this evening. And in this evening, well, it is a very important topic for me to discuss for this particular location and what is happening here in this place. And that is the question of stress. And at this time, what with your virus, your COVID virus that has been making many people ill, and the artificial conditions, or different conditions actually, than you had been living your life, the life you are living today is very different. And some people feel a great deal of stress in this environment because they may be shut off from other people. They may have been more social and able to see people. Certainly when you went to your place of employment, you met with fellow coworkers and friends, and you had conversations of different things. And of course you had your work to do, and you worked together with people. And now all that has changed. You don't get to go to work every morning. You get to stay home, and you can work in your pajamas if you wish. Of course, you might make yourself presentable if you are on such attending meetings over this type of function where you are meeting Zoom. And there are other meetings for those people who are teaching school. They have school classrooms, which they teach through. And this is all online. So you are not seeing your students. You are knowing they are there because perhaps they have their pictures showing or not, depending upon what you have asked them to do. We ask you not to put in your picture simply because it takes a lot more what they call bandwidth in order to show the pictures. And it isn't that important. And it is good that you remain muted because we do not need to hear sounds from all different locations all across the United States even. Or I know that we have people on from California, as well as the person who announced herself from the Washington, D.C. area. So everyone is under a different amount of stress. For people who have their regular jobs and can work from home, they miss the social contacts. They may have pressure on themselves to get things done. You see, when you had the ability to take whatever means of transportation you use to your location for work, you had that time to shift your mind into work mode, to think about the work you are doing. Now, when you are home, that does not take any time. You sit down and you turn on your computer and you have to get to work. But are you fully prepared? Sometimes this makes an issue for people because their head is not in their work yet, and it is difficult for them to function normally and to be as efficient as they were. But this wears off during the day, and they now can work as efficiently and perhaps even more efficiently than they did in the office because there are less interruptions. And interruptions are a different type. For those of you who have children, you have children at home who may want to speak to you, and they will interrupt your train of thought in your day. And perhaps instead of just going out to lunch yourself with a friend or something, you now have to make lunch for others, putting more stress on what you have to do, as well as all the shopping and the preparation of your regular meals, which you may not be accustomed to doing. For many people have been accustomed to eating out or buying takeout. Of course, they can still do this, but now they have to leave their house to pick up their takeout. Or if you are in a metropolitan area, you may get it delivered to yourself. But it is a whole different experience, a different way of thinking, and a different type of organization, some of which is more difficult for you to do, and some of it might be easier for you to do. And so there are artificial things that now take place. And of course, you are in the middle of election time. And for those of you who live in political areas, or maybe in a more political area, there may be many things which people are fighting over and disagreeing upon. And you are getting messages from all sides, constantly being bombarded by, this is the way to think, this is the way to think, no, that is right, this is wrong. My way is best, do it my way. And so you are listening to many different messages, and every day, endlessly, ceaselessly keeping on at this time. And this too can make you very distressed. And so how do you cope with the stress? And of course, it is always the recommendation that you meditate. This may seem a simplistic answer, for actually, for some of you, most important is taking the time that you would be meditating to be alone by yourself in peace and quiet and just be with yourself. That is one of the blessings of meditation. And if you truly meditate, you focus your consciousness, your mind, on whatever it is you are meditating. You may be thinking of your breath. You may be counting your breaths. You may be choosing to say a mantra. You may be staring at a candle. You may be looking at a beautiful picture, or you may be imagining yourself taking a walk through a beautiful garden or by the ocean and just enjoying a different scenery in your own mind. Perhaps you take time for yourself to play with a pet or an animal. These things can help you to relax and to avoid stress. I know this has been a very simplistic discussion in this evening, not complicated, but sometimes it bears listening to the fact that what you are experiencing is stress. Stress can come in many forms. It can come in the good forms of having a vacation and getting prepared for that vacation. It is extremely stressful to prepare for a vacation in which you are going to relax. And you may not even relax on your vacation because you want to plan many things to do to amuse yourself. But depending upon the circumstances, if you have others to think about and to react with, and you have children that have to be guided in proper behaviors and what they need to do and taking them places, this is all stressful for yourself. And so stresses can form as good things. And certainly all those people who chose to get married at this time or who have lost people to the disease, then there is the fulfilling of the necessary paperwork and all the work that accompanies attending to the death of a loved one. All these things are very stressful. And it is important that you remember to be kind to yourself, that you give yourself adequate rest, for you cannot be successful when you are not rested well. You will not think well, you will not make clear decisions. And so it is necessary. And how to ensure do you get a nice, calm, peaceful sleep every night? And the sleep experts will tell you, go to bed at the same time every night. Wake up at the same time in the morning. It is good to do something peaceful and relaxing before you go to bed. So you should take some time. And they suggest things like baths, or I will suggest meditation to quiet your mind, to think on only one thing, and to center yourself. This puts you in the mood for good sleep. And when you awake in the morning, you hopefully will feel very refreshed. Hopefully you have not been so stressed in your day that it has filtered into all your dreams and you have not spent your night tossing and turning because you are working at things in your sleep. This is what you strive to accomplish in your life, to just handle the problems. there is a type of meditation that is referred to as a be here now meditation. All meditation is be here now. And that is to say, you are just in the moment experiencing what you're experiencing. You don't let yourself overthink anything. You tell people, you tell yourself that this is time for peace. And so I will think only of peaceful things. I do not wish to think of work. If I do think of work, I let it go. If I think of problems, I let it go. I try not to dwell on the things that happened yesterday or think about the things that will happen tomorrow. For in this moment, I want to experience total peace, peace and harmony. And I know that peace and harmony fills my life in every moment. And I experience it now in this moment. For peace and harmony is the true creation of God. Everything in this creation is as it is supposed to be. Very often you create your own stress by wishing things were not the way they are, that they are something else. And when you have these thoughts, this becomes stress in your life. I do not want to be overweight. I do not want to be so skinny. I do not want to have to get up every day and do the same thing every day. I am not happy because of things that are going on in my life. I am mad at my sister. I am mad at my brother. My family members are irritating. It does not matter what you think. You create your stress every time you are out of harmony with what is. What is, is. When you wish it to be different, you cause yourself stress. When you accept it as it is, you then allow yourself to be relieved of stress. You can then think about problems or how to cope with the situation if you wish, but not when you are meditating. Only when you are cogent during the day. My sister Mary is sometimes annoying to me. I put in sometimes, but your thought may be, my sister is annoying, my brother is annoying. I have all these problems. Everybody wants something from me. This causes you stress. You think these thoughts. And you need to find the perception and the viewpoint that allows you to accept things as they are. My sister is as she is, and I love her still. My brother is as he is, and I love him too. It does not matter how they are. You love them anyway. And that is what is important for you. To focus on the fact that all things are harmonious. And if you accept things as they truly are harmonious. And then you relieve yourself of stress. So I hope this has been somewhat helpful in this evening. And now comes the time for your questions. Does anybody have a question on what I have spoken about or on any other subject that you are interested in? Well, someone needs to speak up or it will be a very dull evening and over with very quickly.
I can speak up.
Yes, please, just unmute yourself and ask your question. This is Carol again.
Yes, and it's a two-parter question because the question I want to ask you isn't the question I wanted to ask you, but what you just said relates to the question I want to ask you. So that's why I'm saying it's sort of a two-parter.
Yes.
What you just said about accepting the things that as they are. I've always had trouble with that because I want to make things better. And specifically right now I have a few different illnesses in different parts of my body to correct, dental, and especially my knee where a kneecap got broken and the work that was done, I'm not even sure how good it was. And now I need to really find I want to find a doctor I can really work with and get better. So I'm not trying to, so I want to ask you about accepting the things the way they are when I'm actively trying to heal and clear up
Yes,
things that I don't like how they are.
yes, I see your question very clearly. I understand it clearly. Now, when I say to accept things the way they are, you are accepting things the way they are. You accept the fact that there is something wrong with your teeth because you mentioned dental work, and you know that you have to take care of that. You're not spending your time thinking, I wish I didn't have to go to the dentist, because that does not help. The fact of the matter is that you do need to go to the dentist. You mentioned your kneecap. If you just wish it away, that is not accepting things as they are. But when you accept that my kneecap does not work properly, it is painful. I believe that it can be helped. I need to find the correct doctor. You see, that is not denying what is. And so, in a sense, you are accepting what is, but you seek to make it better. Now, you run into problems if you were to say to me, my sister's kneecap is not good, and I want to make it better, but I am not a doctor, and I am looking for a doctor for her, and I am encouraging her to go see a doctor. You see, that is not accepting things as they are, because your sister is in charge of her own body. Now, of course, this is hypothetical, but your sister is in charge of her own body, and that she needs to make the decision to be better. You don't make that decision because it does not concern you. You love her, and so you wish the best for her, and you hope that she will find someone who will make her life better, but you cannot do anything about it, so you do not get upset over that. There is harmony in that you just accept the way she is, and she will have the opportunity to complain to you every time you see her about how much her knee hurts. But that is the way she is. And you don't get irritated, angry, or upset because she always complains but doesn't take action on it. So I think you now are a little clearer on what I mean by being in harmony with what is. You have to be in harmony with the fact of things as they are and examine whether or not there is truly something you can do about it. When you want to make things better, it is good if it is your life that you are talking about. Then you can make the decisions and take the actions to make your life better. It's accepting the point where you are and knowing that you can be better, or that you can get better, or that you know better, or you can earn more money, or whatever it is you wish to change about yourself. But you have control and you are in power. Causing stress would be when it applies to other people and you want others to change. And you have no power to do that. And you cannot possibly do it. And that is what I mean by being in harmony with things as they are. Is that helpful?
It is. And I know I've had some disharmony with some medical practitioners where I just didn't like at all what transpired. So now my goal is to find the right people for me, for these different areas of needs. And is there any methodology or practice
Yes.
metaphysically that I could use to help attract and find the right folks?
Commonly called, it is said, affirmations. And so if you are taking ownership of your problem, but it is important that you take ownership of your power also. You know, or maybe you don't think about it, but you are a very powerful being, because as everyone else in this universe, in this creation, and everything else in this creation, it has been manifested, we have all been manifested from the substance of God. God brought it into being. And there was nothing there besides God. And so everything that is came from the being of God. Everything is composed of God's being. And so you are part of God's being. And you can make an affirmation and know yourself as being God in all ways, that you have the power to create in your life. And as God, you choose to find the right medical practitioner that will diagnose your problem in such a way that empowers you to take action and gives you the right solutions to improve the situation. You understand? So you make affirmations, but it is always good first to start out by recognizing the power that you have. As I am one with God in all ways, I am a powerful person because God is the power of everything, over everything, and He is the creator. So I am a powerful creator in my own right. And I choose to find the exact right medical practitioner who will diagnose my problem properly and give me the advice and the treatments that I need to improve this situation with my knee, so that I know that I can walk totally pain-free in every day. If that is something that you can agree that you would want to, that is what you would choose to make affirmations about. So when you want to make changes in your life, you first center yourself as the person that you truly are, an extension of God within this creation, or you have been made in the image of God. You have the power to create, and you create all the time in every moment through the decisions and actions that you take. And so you can proclaim yourself to be the mighty, magnificent miracle of God in action, and that your words are God's words, and your actions are God's actions. And of course, this will have a powerful influence in your life if you know yourself to be a wonderful creator and part of God, and that the things that you say and do actually affect all the world around you and those who are near you, but you direct it only towards yourself, so that your words and actions, they are all creations of God. And so your desires are God's desire. And as such, then you make the affirmations on what you want and how you want to be. And it is very important that you do not dwell on your illness or the problem. You have to see the problem already corrected, that you have to affirm that I have found the right solutions that I need. I have received the right direction and help that I need to improve my physical well-being in every way. For I know that I find the right practitioners and the right helpful people, which help me to bring my body into perfect health again.
And thank you. And can I use that also to bolster my own? I don't always believe that I'm a powerful creator, or that
Absolutely.
you know.
Absolutely. If you start every day and take a few moments to contemplate the fact that God brought everything into creation and manifested it from the substance of His being, and everything in this creation is made up of His being, and you are part of this creation, and you cannot separate yourself from that. And so you too are made of the substance and the being of God. You can further state that as you are part of God and made in God's image, that I am a powerful creator in my life. Don't forget to state that you love yourself in every way. You forgive yourself for the mistakes you have made in the past. You love yourself, and that you are a powerful creator, and you take the right actions that you need to create well in your life. And you specify the things that you want to manifest in your life. But just acknowledging yourself as being an extension of God in this universe, which you are. you actually create the world in which you live, because it is always your judgments, that your thoughts, which um, are the ways that you see the world. Your world is like no one else's, because you have your unique background, which you got from your parents and your upbringing, with all the thoughts that came to you while you were growing up, all the words that you heard, all the programming from your parents. This is your unique thing. And so for everything that is happening in the world around you and the things that you have to deal with, this is your unique perception. And so the world that you are living in is what you have decided it to be. And if you make judgments which say that my home is beautiful, I live in a beautiful place, you do live in a beautiful place. It does not matter if other people may not see it as much as beautiful as you do, but it will be beautiful to you. I have wonderful friends. And so you will always see those friends in such a way. If you choose to look at your family members and judge them to be wonderful, loving people, well, then your family members are wonderful, loving people. Other people may not like them, but your family members are wonderful, loving people. Your world is unique to you, and you create it every day by what you think and what you say and the actions you take. And so that is what is basically, you are the creator of this world. Now, you certainly know that what you think about, you attract to yourself, or you perhaps have heard that said. And this is true, or you are sending out a vibration, a thought, that others, while they may not be knowingly clairvoyant, everyone is to some extent, or sentient, clairsentient, people pick up on your vibration. And I'm sure that you are aware that you pick up on people's vibration. If you enter into a room where people are very angry, you can almost instantly tell it, even though you had no knowledge of what was going on and had came in totally cold, you would know that people were not unhappy. And so when you think happy thoughts, you are putting out a happy creation for yourself. When you think thoughts are in harmony, you tend to project harmony out from yourself. And the thoughts and the ideas and the things that you think and you project tend to attract to yourself things that are the same, because like attracts like. And so therefore, when you are happy, you will find yourself attracting other people who are happy, or you will not be interested in people who are unhappy. You will get tired of listening to their whining and their complaining about whatever it is they are unhappy about, because you like to be happy and you like to think about happy things. And so you surround yourself with happy people. Before you know it, you have a nice lot of friends who are also happy and enjoyable to be with. It's just the way the world works because of these metaphysical laws. Like attracts like. Whatever it is you want in your life, make it part of yourself. If you are not in a loving relationship and you want a loving relationship, be a very loving person. Think lovingly of every person. Try to be helpful and kind to people. You will soon see that other people are attracted to you because of what you give to them, which is kindness and love, thoughtfulness, to whatever extent you can. And they will see you as being loving. And so they will love you back simply because you are loving and they want you in their lives. And so they will love you. It's the way it works. Be what you want to be. If you want self-confidence, tell yourself that you are a confident person, that you make great decisions and you make great actions. There are all kinds of affirmations that you can make, and you can even look them up on the internet and find other people's affirmations or buy books of affirmations. and read them and choose the ones that you like and make them yourselves during the day. And that way, for some time every morning perhaps, or before you go to bed. And you can always, if you are meditating, you can always affirm that you are going to have a wonderful night's sleep. And you are going to wake in the morning refreshed and enthusiastic for your day, because it is going to be a wonderful day. You can say when you get up and every day, this is the best day ever. This is a wonderful day. It is going to be a great day, and it is going to be the best day ever. And you can say that every day, and your days will only get better and better, because that is the way you are thinking and the way you are acting. Do you have a further question?
Yes, and then I know there's many people here waiting. So if I need to release negativity or disbelief or grief, I guess I could use tapping, but in order to say an affirmation, if it's contrary to my present experience, I don't want to say it in such a way that I don't even believe it from the get-go. So I'm just asking, if I have to rise above a certain amount of heartbreak or disappointment or anger in order to do this, what is a good way through that isn't self-deceptive, but is a truthful?
I know there are those people you have just said, you know you can do tapping. And I am aware that tapping often starts out with the statement, even though I do not feel that I am beautiful, I am truly a beautiful person. You could say something like that. But it is not, that does not really help you, because you have made a statement in the beginning which you can agree with, and you still won't agree with the following statement. So you might as well leave off the first one, because that only sometimes will only reinforce that negative perception that you already have. And so it's better that you do not put that on there. And you just begin to think, you can think in little phrases in the beginning. What is it that you wish to get better at? Perhaps I can help.
Well, even, gosh, I have challenges. I mean, I have challenges in my marriage, and I want to change that. I want to be free at a point, but I don't even believe I can be. So there's these things I want to change, but I don't actually believe anymore. But I really want to believe, or I get, yeah, there are many things where I have felt stuck for a long time. I want to believe and I want to change, but I sort of stopped believing, lost faith in myself and in life, kind of.
Yes, okay, so you have to start at the basics. You have to start with perhaps something that says something like, I know that God's creation is perfect in every way, and everything in God's creation is in perfect harmony. And I have the ability to see the harmony in the creation. And I have the ability to think positively in every way and to be in harmony with the creation. So you can start with something like that, something about your ability. I have the ability to love. I have the ability to be happy in every day. Take one small thing, such as happiness. This is going to be a happy day. Now that may seem like a big thing, but to me it is quite a little thing to just determine that you are going to be happy. And how do you be happy in a day? Well, I suggest that you start being aware of all the things you have to be happy over. You got a great cup of coffee in the morning, or a perfect cup of tea. That I am happy, this tea is wonderful, the coffee tastes terrific, I can smell it brewing, I enjoy the smell of coffee, and start thinking about all the things that you do that are working perfectly for you, and evaluating them in your statements by saying, or preceding them in your mind with statements such as, I am happy that it's sunny today. I am happy that the weather is cooler today. I am happy that the weather is warmer today. You can always those things. So let's start making yourself happy and say, I have many happy things in my life, and I choose to see the happy things in my life that are good. And try to make a list of all the things that you find good in your life. These things can't be changed easily. You have to make the effort. You may have lost the belief, as you said, that because you did not know what to do. You did not know what actions to take. And so you became defeated by your emotions. And so you are the person in charge of your emotions. You determine whether you are happy, whether you are sad, whether you are angry. You are the person who does that. And the way you do that is through your thoughts and your judgments. That is the biggest thing. If you are having difficulty with your husband and your marriage, well, then you need to start making affirmations like, I know I have a good husband, and I know I have the potential to have a wonderful marriage. And then you can make a list, perhaps sometime, of your husband's good qualities. Not his bad qualities, only his good qualities. I know to make decisions, they tell you make lists of the negative and the positive, but this is not a decision. It's where you wish to go. And so you only write about the happy, good qualities of your husband, so that you can see them in the words and actions that he says. Sometimes married couples, after a few years, begin to see faults or problems or little annoying traits, and they begin to focus on those things. That's a good way to make you fall out of love. But if you have to find the things that you like about the man again, that he is good, or he is industrious, or he works hard, or maybe you don't think he's thoughtful, but you try to think of something nice that he might have done or said to you. Maybe you have gotten into the bad habit of not praising one another, in which case it behooves you to begin to make an effort to mention to him when something is good that you like, that he has done. And when you give him praise, small praise, you may find that after you have done this for several days or a week or 2 weeks, that your perception of him is changing. And that is what you need to do, is change your perception of your husband, so you see a man that is more perhaps compatible with yourself. And maybe you need to think about whether you are compatible. I do not know. It is perhaps you have the same political views and the same political ideas, in which case you can enjoy that. And but there may be the same taste in art, or even theater, or TV. It does not matter what it is. If you can find something that you have that is similar together again, you can perhaps make your marriage better. Slowly, it will just transform itself without your realization if you make an effort to first think about what's good about your husband, to say something good and nice to him in every day. Remember, of course, to be thankful and express your thanks if he does something that is nice, if he fixes something around the house or does anything that makes your life better, to compliment the man. These are all ways which will help you in your life. It is very important for you to love yourself. And so you can always say, I love myself. I love myself because I am good. I am a good person, and therefore I love myself. You know that you are good. You know that is the truth. You know that all the things you say and do, no matter how other people may evaluate them, you did them because you thought it would bring about the best thing possible for yourself and for others. And so therefore you know that you are good. These are the things that you need to do to help your self-esteem. Admit that I am a good person. I love myself just the way I am, because I know that I am good and I am worthy and I am deserving of living a wonderful life that is filled with great happiness, perfect health, and abundant wealth. These kind of thoughts, streaming endlessly from yourself as much as you can possibly do, that these thoughts will help you to transform your life into what you wish it to be. Because if you know that what you have is good, you will then be happy. It is one follows the other that easily, but you have to decide to recognize and acknowledge the good in your life. And so that is why people recommend gratitude diaries. I'm sure you have heard of that. Simply every night, write down 2 or 3 things that you can be grateful for that happened during the day. And I did hear one person who said she was grateful every day because she had a wonderful bed to sleep in. That was an important thing for her. And while she thought it was kind of silly that she puts it in every day and thought maybe it didn't really work as a gratitude thing, but it does. It's something she was grateful for. If you have a good night's sleep, be grateful for your good night's sleep. If you have a good meal, be grateful for your good meal. So you can always write those kind of things down during the night. I'm grateful that I got out of work on time. I did not leave late. I'm grateful that the traffic was not as bad as usual. All these little things, gratitude diaries, these are all ways of developing your life into something that is more positive and more helpful. And do not worry that you might have taken up more time from other people. Usually, person with a question, everybody learns from the answers.
What if I want to change my personal life?
I do not understand the question. If you want to change your personal life, if you want to make changes, then it is you who can do that. If that is truly what you want. But the best way to make changes is to start changing yourself. And then you don't have to take actions. I mean, do you want to find a new job? Then apply for a new job. If you don't like the job that you are doing, by all means, try to find a better job, one that you think you will be happier at. If you are talking about perhaps you want to end your marriage, I would suggest you work at changing yourself first, and then you can decide to end your marriage. Because your unhappiness is not because of your marriage. It's not because of your job. It's because of yourself. Your unhappiness is what you are creating in yourself. Happiness is found within yourself. And so you can choose to say it is external things that are making me happy, but that is not the truth. The truth is it's your judgments. It's the same thing as I said about the stress. It is your judgments which say and create stress in your life, which say that life is wrong, that I am not happy. And so you need to change that judgment. If you can make yourself happy in your current circumstance, and then you will, but you determine that you still need to make changes, such as perhaps ending your marriage or finding a new job, then you can decide to do that. But if you can be happy to some extent where you are, that will be very helpful for yourself, for that will put you on the right pathway. Do not look to outside yourself for your discontent. Your discontent is within yourself. And if you want to admit that, that is okay also, because then at least you are accepting things as they are. I am discontented because I am discontented. I don't like what I see, and I know that I am out of harmony in this situation. But my suggestion is work at changing yourself and then make the decision to change exterior circumstances for yourself.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you dearly.
Are there any questions from anyone else in this evening? I certainly hope there are.
Hi.
Ron Carr, this is Tanya. Oh, go ahead.
No, go ahead, Tanya. It's okay.
I just have a quick question. If you have a spouse or a parent or an adult child who is perhaps doing things that you not only don't agree with, but for instance, my mother smoked for 60 years and then she died from the smoking. Loved her anyway, and I knew all along that that was not healthy, but it was a choice she made, and so I had to love her anyway. When it comes to a spouse and they're smoking, and we don't agree, or they're eating when the doctor says they're diabetic, or they're doing something that's they don't feel is harmful, but as a spouse or a son or a parent you feel is harmful, where do you draw the line between allowing and intervening? Does that make sense?
Well, yes, but if these people are adults, you have no right to intervene. It is their life. And if they choose to kill themselves with cigarettes, then that is how they will die. Possibly, for there have been many people who chose to smoke who lived into the very late ages of 90 or more. And they successfully smoked for 60 years without developing cancer in any way, because I guess their attitude was good in other ways, which balanced out the harmfulness of the smoking. Now, there are problems with diabetes, we realize blood sugar, but if the person is harming themselves, you may not choose to be in a relationship with, if you know that someone is diabetic, and that if this is going to be your primary love relationship, that he does not eat properly and that he will probably die early because of that problem, and he is bound to develop other problems along the way, you have the problem. How much do you love this person? Do you love him enough to let him be and as he is? And you can always express that I wish you would watch your diet a little more because it is in your own best interest, but it would not be helpful to your marriage or relationship to do that. It is not your decision to make for other people how they should eat, how they should act, how they should be. That is up to them. It is merely your decision to decide, do you want to have a relationship that's close and intimate with that person? Do you want to accept them as they are? And if you love them, the answer is yes. And you still can wish that they would be a little bit different, but not allow yourself to get distressed over it. That is what you need to avoid doing. So it is not your decision to make how other people live their lives. Only your decision is whether you want to have a relationship with them or not. And if you want to have a relationship with them, you accept their actions as being part of themselves. You need not approve. You need not encourage them. You need not indulge them. You certainly wouldn't want to pour a glass of wine for an alcoholic who was being successful and not drinking. You wouldn't do something like that to someone. You wouldn't hurt them in some way. You would accept them as they are and know that they choose not to drink, or they choose to drink. And they are an alcoholic, and you don't like the fact that they're an alcoholic, but then you have the right to limit your relationship with them. That is the only right that you have in this life and in this world. You can send them healing, you can send them love, but you have to accept them as they are for your own mental health, as well as for maintaining whatever type relationships are good for you. It's important to love yourself enough to know that there are some relationships that you do not want to be heavily involved with, even if it's your child, and your child is busy making decisions that you do not agree with. But they have to live their life. They will pay the consequences for their decisions. It's not your job to discipline them anymore once they reach adulthood. You can only accept them as they are You can make suggestions. You know, it might be helpful if you stop smoking. You might have more wind, air. You might be able to have more stamina. You might feel better in your life, but that probably won't help. But there will come a time where they will change. Many people who smoke decide not to smoke. Many people who drink reach a point where they no longer feel that they are helped. And if they are not addicted to the alcohol yet, it is an easy habit to break. So that is all that you could wish for them, that they are happy, that they are healthy, that they are whole and complete in every way, and they will live their lives as they are going to. So, just as you did with your mother, but it still sounds as if you disapproved of her smoking, and perhaps you let her know that, but it would have been better just to keep it to yourself and perhaps not allow her to smoke in your home. I do not like to smoke in my home, Mother. Would you please go outside to smoke? I know she has passed on already and it isn't an issue. But for others, you don't need to tolerate smoking in your home. You do not need to tolerate drinking in your home if you do not approve. There are things that you can set limits on in your home because it is your home. But you can't limit them when they are outside or even seek to do so. I hope it's helpful.
Yes, thank you very, very much. I appreciate it. Thank you.
You're welcome. And there was another question, I believe, maybe from Elizabeth.
Yes, but I'm going in a different direction. I'm interested in knowing what are spirit guides and how are they assigned to us, or how do we become connected to them?
Yes, the question of spirit guides. You all have spirit guides. And most of the time, these guides, it's a decision that is made before you incarnate on the physical plane. That these people, they were probably your friends, family members from other lives that you have lived, but they are relationships that you have had in your past lives. And they would decide to be with you in this life to act as a guide to yourself. And so that is set up beforehand. Now, you had a question more about the guides themselves, did you? Or were you just curious about how you acquired one?
Right, and then how do you communicate with them, and how do you know when they're communicating with you?
Well, that is always the hard thing, and the easiest way is to just beam your thoughts to that guide. Now, at the Institute, and the number of guides that people have varies, and different religions believe that there are different guides. Some people call them angels, some people call them guides, but generally we are speaking, if they are not truly angels, they are spirits, usually of people like myself and like you will be when you transition into the spirit world, when you leave the physical behind, that you may decide to be a guide for another family member that is coming to the earth, and you are able to communicate. We are able to communicate with one another and indicate a willingness to be of help, and you might decide in what way you wish to be of help. Or there are different types of guides, and that is where I was starting to say. In general, as I said, some people believe in a single guardian angel or a single guide. Some people believe in 3. Some people believe that there are many more angels that watch over you or guides that watch over you. But 5 is a good number, and they fall into different areas of your life, so that you might have, like Lorna is for the medium, you may have a joy guide. She is what she would refer to herself as, that I am a joy guide. It is also referred to as a gatekeeper. It is they usually portray themselves as young children or as children. And it is their job, what they try to do is to be helpful in any way to the individual on earth. So you could simply ask for your joy guide, and you could ask for a name sometime, perhaps. Juana will give you names if you ask Juana. And so you can get a name, or you can just choose your own name and address your joy guide by whatever name you like. If you like to call them Poppy, call her Poppy. If you think Michael would be more appropriate, call Michael. It does not matter. Choose your own name. So you have your joy guide. And then you have a doctor of medicine, that a guide who is in charge of your health. And you can adjust that guide, which might be helpful for Carol, since she needs help. She wanted to address her doctor of medicine and ask him to help her find appropriate doctor on the physical level who will be able to help her. But the doctor of medicine, in general, it's hard when you're a guide. All you can do is send thoughts and ideas to the individual that you are seeking to guide. When they are sleeping is the best time for communication, or you can just try and influence their actions during the day. So there is the doctor of medicine. And then there is another guide, often referred to as a doctor of philosophy. And that guide would be kind of in charge of your love life, in charge of seeing your relationships in general, as well as business relationships and business issues. They would try to help you in that way by bringing you information and enlightenment, helping to attract to yourself the individuals that you need to meet to be of help to yourself. So we have the doctor of medicine, doctor of philosophy, the joy guide. And then there was a protector guide. There is always, sometimes they are referred to as the big Indian, because they are very powerful beings, but their job is to look after your welfare and to look after your belongings, to keep you safe as best they can. So that they have been known to do extraordinary things when it comes to protecting those people that they are in charge of protecting. And people sometimes have had amazing situations, such as been in extreme car accidents, and they escaped. Although the car was extremely crumpled and damaged, they somehow escaped without any injury. And so that is usually the result of a very powerful protector guide for Big Indian. And then, of course, you have a spirit guide, a spiritual guide who tries to help you in spiritual matters and how to think and how to be. They do not usually involve themselves in your daily life, but are there strictly to give proper advice and guidance towards spiritual progress. So if you want to talk to someone, you just need to ask for your protector. And you want him to protect yourself while you are walking through perhaps what you might consider to be a scary neighborhood. Or you are driving, and you want to be protected against any accidents. Or you can even ask them to arrange for good traffic.
In a parking space.
Clear driving. Yes, excuse me?
In a parking space. Sometimes.
And a parking space, yes. They have been known to do that precisely.
Yes, and I wondered, can my husband be my guide? He passed away a few years ago, and I really feel he's around the house.
Well, your husband is maybe around the house.
Yes,
and
I have signs.
And you have signs, and he is there for you, but he is not there in the same sense that your spirit guides are with you. He is there because he loves you, and he still wishes to be in contact with you, or feels he wishes to help you. Your spirit guides would have been with you from the beginning, not coming joining later. But so you have your own personal husband guide.
Oh, yeah. Thank you. I love your sharing. Thank you so much for everything.
You're most welcome. It is our pleasure to serve in this way.
Rankar, Agnes wants to speak to Dr. Benjamin.
All right.
So, we're 20 minutes to 9, so you can take another question or not. It's up to you.
Okay. Are there any last minute questions? I will have to answer it briefly since we have a desire for someone who is online wishes to speak to Dr. Benjamin. Dr. Benjamin is the medical guide of the medium, and he does handle medical questions. So are there any other questions for me while I am present?
Oh, no. Will you be on next week as well, next Tuesday?
I anticipate that we will be here.
Oh, good. Okay. Then I'll wait until then. Thank you.
Okay.
I was
You will-
wondering, oh, I'm sorry.
No.
Could I possibly speak with Dr. Benjamin after Robert is done speaking with him?
Oh, yes, of course you may.
Thank you.
Yes, he will ask for additional questions. So that is not a problem. Then I am going to wish you all a good night. I give you my blessings and thank you for coming. Good night.
Good
Thank
night.
you.
Hi, I'm back. I know you want to talk to Dr. Benjamin, so therefore I'm going to get Dr. Benjamin. One moment, please. Good evening, it is I, Dr. Benjamin. How may I be of service?
Yes, hi, Dr. Benjamin. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
I have a problem with swelling up my face and my body, especially my face and my neck, and the rest of my body just really swells up, usually at night when I'm sleeping. And I just not sure what that is.
So you are telling me that you feel that you have absorbed water during the night, or I believe what is happening to you is not that you are swelling up as much as the additional water that your body took in during the day. I do not know if this is a condition that hits you every day, but in the lying prone during the night allows it to transfer. You see, much of it may have been absorbed, extra fluids that your body is retaining may have been absorbed into your stomach and into your legs during the day and to your feet from standing on them if you are standing a great deal. And it is possible that during the night you are not necessarily swelling, but it is merely moving, since it is no longer confined by gravity to the locations you have been storing it. It moves into different ones, which now gives you the appearance of having a puffy face. Your hands may be puffier than usual. It has redistributed itself. I am assuming that during the day, this phenomena seems to disappear. Is this correct?
Correct.
Right. And so there is a possibility, I could not say, that you may be having problems in your circulation, which is allowing you, or your within your kidneys and your elimination systems, that is allowing you to retain extra water into your body. And this may be a need for you to see a physician for a proper diagnosis to eliminate this as a problem. But I believe the phenomena you are experiencing is the result of being prone in bed and having the gravity not keeping the water in the places it was before. I don't know how to express that, but you no longer are subject to the laws of gravity with the water, and so therefore it moves into other areas of your body and allows it to appear more puffy in the morning. And then it drains away during the day and becomes more centered in your feet and your abdominal cavity and your ankles and your legs and your knees and that type of thing. So then you appear slimmer.
Thank you.
You are welcome, but it is good for you to bring that issue up with a physician. You may find that there is they may have a medication for you that may be helpful, and they would want to eliminate certain diseases that may cause that to happen. And you would want to have those diseases eliminated for yourself.
Okay, thank you.
Generally not a severe problem, I believe, but it is one that can be most annoying.
Yes. Thank you.
And there is another individual with a question.
I had one, unless your husband wants to ask first.
No, I don't have one.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. Okay. My question, Dr. Benjamin, is part physical, but it's probably my question is more about the emotional and spiritual aspects of a recent surgery I had. I listened to Abraham Hicks through the summer at least every day for a portion of the day, and I went into cataract surgery looking forward to it, having a positive attitude, having a lot of faith in the doctor, being very grateful way before it happened, visualizing a perfect outcome, and being grateful for the nurses that were attending me and everything. And then now that the surgery is done and pretty much physically I have healed very well, but my sight is worse than it was before the surgery. And so the doctor told me we can either go in again and do the surgery and put a different lens in, or you will wear a contact lens in that eye. So I elected to go for the contact lens, and I think it will correct the problem. But I'm perplexed because I thought I was going into this with exactly the right kind of attitude and happy feelings and trust.
Well, I do not believe in this case that it was a problem with your attitude or happy feelings. It seems to have been a problem with the lens that was placed in your eye. Perhaps it was not made clear what this lens would be doing, because there are many different types of lenses, most of which are, well, the most commonly used ones, the least costly ones, are the ones which have one
Focal length.
thank you, have one focal length. So they can choose to insert one that can see up close or one that can see more clearly when it's at a distance. And there are multifocal length lenses which cost you extra. Now, it is possible that the doctor did not discuss these focal lengths with you and chose one he thought would be best for you, but it obviously is not making you happy because you now wear a contact lens. Are you having more difficulty in the reading, or are you having more difficulty in seeing at a distance?
Chose the one that would allow me to read, which I can, and I could before the surgery, but really from like the tip of my hand, very close by, from that point on, everything is blurry. But I do think that the contact lens, I'm optimistic about it. They can't fit me for a month for one. They say my eye will continue to heal and they can't fit me for one for a while. But if I hadn't had glasses that I had prior, just for distance for driving, I would have had to go a whole month without seeing, basically. It's just, I feel drunk, honestly. It's just kind of, I'm woozy, disoriented. I'm optimistic that this is going to clear it up, but it's just, I don't know. I just thought that because I was feeling so good about it, that something like this couldn't happen.
It seems to be a problem perhaps with the lens. That is what I have to say, that because the eye now, what you see and what you can see clearly is a result of the lens that they implanted. And usually the person is very pleased with what they have chosen, but did you choose to, were you given an option?
I had no idea that what they consider to be distance is no farther than your foot. And so I actually had better distance for both close-up and distance in that eye prior to the surgery.
Yes, that is because your eye could act more normally with the lens in it, it is now somewhat hindered from its normal focusing abilities and is helpless to the lens itself, the way the lens is focused.
So they could have miscalculated the lens themselves. When they take the measurement for the eye, the person who calculated the subscription may have made a mistake, possibly.
Yes.
No,
But the
I'm
real-
not. Yeah, I'm not hopeless about it. I think he's a good doctor. I will wait and see how the contact lens helps. I think it will, because the glasses even help a bit. It's just it was really a question about, we're always told to become happy and envision a happy outcome and act like you have the success before it comes to you. And I was there. I was in all those things. And maybe once I get the contact lens, then everything will be exactly as I envisioned it, and I will be happy. It's just it's strange that it turned out this way.
Yes, I understand what you are saying now. Your question is that you had taken great pains to be positive about the procedure, and yet there still seems to have been a mistake. And your question, in a sense, is always is somewhat, how did I attract that mistake to myself, which
Right.
I can try to look at, because it is entirely possible that there was a mistake, or that in some way the lens was defective or improperly placed within your eye. And as you are well aware at this point in time, you are not fully healed. So therefore, as healing continues to occur, it is possible that you will find some adjustments so that it would be more suitable for you. And how would you have attracted that to yourself? I will try to look at that for you. One moment, please. It has nothing, I believe it has nothing to do with your surgery, that how this mistake came to be made, but is somewhat a reflection of other things and I have to say, from the past, you have worked very hard at changing yourself in very many ways and making yourself more positive in actions. There are still, unfortunately, within your subconscious mind, I believe that there are some slight tendencies to be judgmental. Now, we are not talking about the surgery here, but in other areas of your life. And you may have been going through a time as this was approaching from the time you decided to have this cataract surgery. And it was just one eye, correct?
Yes, that's right.
So that during that time where you were not perceiving things clearly or having some difficulty dealing with a situation, in which case that may have been how the accident was attracted towards yourself. Because I do not see that there is anything about you when it comes to this eye and most of your life. But it had to be some issue that was happening at the time that the measurements were made and the actions were taken, the piece was ordered, or yes, I think it would date back to the initial decisions and the initial actions that were taken. And yes, you are positive about it. I am sure that the correction will be able to be made. I am certain myself that you will come out of this satisfactory. And
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Is there another question? I thought I heard another voice. Then if there are no more questions for me at this time, I too give you my blessings. Good night.
Good night.
Hi, I'm back. Okay, well, the night's not over till I say good night, because it's my privilege and my job. So I want to say, I hope you all enjoyed yourself this evening. Remember, I love you all. Good night.
Good night.